The Tumen River in February is 40 meters wide and the color of a bruise. You are standing in it up to your chest, and the cold has moved past pain into something that feels like information. Your body telling you, with great precision, exactly how much time you have left to make a decision. 20 meters behind you is North Korea. 20 meters ahead is China. The spotlight found you 3 minutes ago. You are equidistant from everything, belonging to nothing, and the broker who took your 400 yen is already gone. You turn back. This decision happens before you make it. Something in the cold, in the arithmetic of guards and current and the distance to the other bank, completes the calculation without consulting you. You turn back toward the North Korean shore, and the guards pull you out by the collar, and the night closes over the river like nothing happened, because for the river, nothing did. Your name is Han. You are from Musan, North Hamgyong Province, a mining town in the northeast where the Tumen is narrow enough to hear voices from the Chinese side on a still night. Your father was taken when you were young. A neighbor reported him for listening to a South Korean radio signal on a receiver he'd built from salvaged parts. He went to a Category 3 facility and his file stayed open, attached to your family's songbun record like a debt that compounds. Your mother raised you and your brother alone, trading food at the Jongmadang to cover the ration gap. You have watched 3 people from your block disappear across the river. You know 2 of them died. The third you don't know about, and not knowing is its own kind of answer. Your brother got sick in October, fever, joint pain, the specific swelling that the local doctor identified as bacterial and treatable with amoxicillin, which the state pharmacy in Musan hasn't stocked in 8 months. You found the broker through a woman at the market, a man named Zhang, 400 yen for a crossing, contact on the Chinese side who could source the medicine. The plan was 3 days. Cross, get the medicine, return. You had your brother's symptoms written on a piece of paper and a photograph of him and your mother folded behind it. You almost left the photograph at home. You didn't. Zhang told you the patrol cycle reset at 2:15. This was wrong by 17 minutes, which is long enough to get halfway across a 40-meter river and no further. They process you at a local security post 22 minutes from the bank. You count the minutes in the vehicle, staring at the diesel-stained floor, your wet clothes already going cold in a way that feels structural, like your bones are being replaced with something less useful. The building is concrete the color of old chalk with a single light above the door. Your wrists are zip-tied with a plastic loop. No one offers you anything dry. The first question is not your name. It is who helped you. The second question is who were you meeting? The third is who helped you again. Same words, different volume. This continues for 6 hours and you learn very quickly that these are not questions. They are the frame of a confession that already exists, and your job is to fill it with the correct materials in the correct order. You give them Zhang's name on the second day because they already have it, and refusing costs more than giving. You are moved twice in 4 days, Musan to Chongjin, 170 kilometers south, smaller rooms each time, windows facing walls, then windows painted over. On day 3, an interrogator mentions your father. Not as a threat, as a data point, the file is still active, the debt still compounds. You are not starting from neutral. On day 6, you sign the confession, 4 pages in the interrogator's handwriting, ideological corruption, contact with a broker, intent to defect, repentance. You read all 4 pages before signing. The repentance section is the longest. You sign your name and feel nothing specific, which tells you something about what 6 days without adequate sleep does to a person's relationship with their own signature. You have managed your classification correctly. Not the worst category, not the camp where your father went, the tier below it. This is the only victory the room allows, and you take it precisely. The labor training facility outside Chongjin holds 63 women in a building built for 40. Concrete floor, 1 blanket between 2, corn porridge twice daily at roughly 300 calories per serving. The schedule is 5 a.m., wake, morning labor in the fields, noon meal, afternoon political study, evening self-criticism session, lights out at 9. It does not vary. This is the architecture of it. Not punishment through pain, but punishment through the elimination of variation, of surprise, of any moment the mind might use to be somewhere else. The self-criticism sessions are the center of everything. You stand before the group and describe not what you did, but why. The internal corruption, the foreign influence, the ideological rot that produced the action. The crying is assessed. Insufficient display is noted. You cry at the correct volume and describe your thinking in the correct register and become, over weeks, very precise at this, performing the emotion from a distance, watching yourself produce it without being inside it. This distance, this gap between the performance and the person performing, is the thing that keeps you functional. You are aware of this, you file it. Her name is Park. She arrives 3 weeks after you, same charge, different section of the same river. She has crossed before, once successfully, worked in Shenyang for 8 months, was caught coming back. Second sentence, she knows the facility the way you know your own apartment, every rotation, every weak point. She tells you things in the self-criticism sessions when the guards are watching whoever is speaking, her lips barely moving, her voice below the room's ambient noise. The third fence panel from the eastern watchtower, the concrete footing cracked by last winter's freeze. The specific gap in the eastern patrol rotation. She is not planning to use this information herself. She is planning to finish her sentence, go home, save money, cross properly the third time. What she gives you is not charity. She says your name when you get out. That is the price. 4 months in, a postcard arrives through the family notification system. 3 lines, your mother's handwriting. Your brother's fever broke in November. He got better on his own. He is fine. He has been fine for 3 months. You sit with this in the self-criticism circle, performing the correct emotions about your thinking, while inside you are doing the arithmetic. The crossing was already unnecessary when you made it. The medicine run solved itself before you reached the water. You're here, on this floor, under this light, in this performance of remorse for a bottle of amoxicillin that was never needed. The cruelty of this has a specific geometry. Not random, not impersonal, but shaped exactly to fit the space between what you tried to do and what actually happened. You decide not to waste it. Whatever 9 months on this floor produces, it will not be the whole story. You start memorizing the fence. Release comes after 9 months. A guard returns your items in a brown envelope. The photograph, now creased from handling, your brother's symptom list, and the 400 yen receipt from Zhang, kept as evidence and now returned because the file is closed. You walk out in the same clothes you arrived in. Your mother stands outside with your brother, who is taller than you remember. His expression is not pity. It is something more careful than pity. The look of someone who has been doing their own accounting for 9 months and is not finished. Your songbun classification is formally downgraded. This affects your housing ration, your food category, your brother's school placement, your own employment options. The sentence is served, the record is permanent. You are free in the technical sense only, which means free inside a narrower perimeter than before, which is the point of the exercise. Musan looks the same. The Zhangmadang women sell the same things. The coal smoke smells the same. Your mother has maintained the cover story about a relative in Hamhung, and most neighbors have chosen to believe it, which in this neighborhood is the form kindness takes. You eat real rice the first night and watch your brother do his homework at the table and try to locate the person who stood at the river in February with 400 yen and a piece of paper. You can find the outline of her. You cannot find the inside. She is not calm. She is present in a different configuration, all patient, precise, with a specific knowledge of what the system looks like from the interior. You know the patrol schedule. You know the third fence panel from the eastern watchtower. You know that Park was right. The second crossing is harder because you understand what you're crossing into and you go anyway. You know you are going to go anyway. This is not a decision you make. It is a recognition of something already true. 6 months after your release, in August, when the river is low and the summer dark falls late, and the patrol has the gap Park mapped for you, you stand at the Tumen River again. No broker. You have the schedule memorized and 600 yen saved in the photograph in your coat pocket. The same one that went through the brown envelope and came back creased, your mother and brother against the wall of your apartment, your brother squinting into the light. Your mother pressed it into your hand an hour ago and said, "Go, before I change my mind." The river is warm in August, almost gentle. 40 meters of dark water between you and the low yellow lights of Jilin province, and the patrol gap is open, and you are going across it this time, not because the reason is simpler or the stakes are lower, but because the first time you were afraid of being caught, and the second time you are more afraid of staying. And the distance between those two fears is exactly the width of the river. You step in. Some people cross a border once and call it escape. Others cross it twice. The first time to learn what it costs, the second time because they've decided to pay it anyway. If you want to see more, click the video on screen now.